I saw this video from another YouTuber about how y'all don't like black hair. And I'm really amazed at the different ways that we have this conversation about anti-blackness without really calling it anti-blackness. But that is the point of this whole video, honestly. I think the hating of the hair, if we look at not every, but every famous, well-known black woman, successful, we can really count on one finger how many of them wear natural hair, how many of them wear locks. You think about a famous person right now who's wearing locks, and not faux locks, not those, what a white woman's hair would look like if she had locks, but Afrocentric, kinky hair locks. I'll wait. I think it's really telling that the weaves, the wigs, are what people think look best or professional, or what they have to wear when they're on the red carpet or presenting themselves to the public. If we ask ourselves why, the answer will always be anti-blackness. The answer will always be colonization, the brainwashing of slavery. But I feel like I would really like to further the conversation. Y'all don't like black hair. That's true. It's true. I suppose we have to accept that that's the fact before we can move on to something different. Literally what I do with my clients, I tell them the hardest step in all of this is self-awareness. If you say nothing's wrong, you're not going to change anything. If you admit that you hate your hair, if you admit that you don't like seeing your baby hairs looking like baby hairs because you have kinky hair and it curls up, if you want your hair to be straight and lay flat, if you don't like the look of an afro, if you make a face when you see a woman or a man with an afro, if you think somebody looks unkempt, like if you are not willing to admit that, nothing is going to happen, right? That's the first step in all of this before changes can be made. Before we can actually start celebrating our young black boys and girls for the hair that they actually have, right? The focus on waves, the focus on laying down baby hairs, the focus on, always keeping your hair in braids, always having a protective style and never wearing your real hair. And then saying it's because I don't know how or it's too hard. If you let your hair be and do what it wants to do, it probably wouldn't be so hard. Having locks is one of the lowest maintenance styles in the world. My hair wants to lock. 4C, all the way kinky hair. And I have a whole other video about, my lock journey. And I showed some pictures of what my loose hair looked like. And I've had loose hair almost my entire life. I spent some years in college doing all the things to my hair, trying all the things. I've only owned one wig. That was never part of my culture or my idea of beauty for myself. But I do think black people need to redefine what beauty looks like. I do think the black hair movement failed. Oh my gosh, like most things in America, it became about capitalism and what sells more. People want to reach for ideals that they don't have, right? It's part of why, it was very hard for me to find any natural hair girlies who are vloggers and doing well vlogging. And almost all of the ones that I follow, they're either Nigerian or Caribbean with their natural hair. Show me an African-American girly whose hair is not only about, whose channel is not only about hair, who is wearing her hair naturally. I was very frustrated during that process because there's one YouTuber that I really, really enjoy. I talk about Peyton Charles in another couple of videos or vlogs of mine. But I have nothing in common with the woman, right? Part of why I watch her is because I know what it's like to be insecure. I know what it's like to have disposable income. I know what it's like to have a child and be unmarried. So definitely we're relatable in some ways, but girl, my life doesn't look anything like Peyton Charles' life. She's very funny, but I wanted someone else to watch who, looked like me, who had a nose like me, who had hair like me, who embraced their natural self. Because in so many ways, in food, in life, in so many ways, look at all these flags. In so many ways, I'm a natural girly. And I know they say make the content you want to see, but I'm private, okay? I've made some of the content, but I'm mostly private, okay? I want to see some other women winning and living these luxurious lives with natural hair. Because the natural hair, I think, is a metaphor for acceptance of your blackness, not being afraid of being associated with blackness, conquering, I don't know, the fear of not being seen as good enough, the judgment. There's so many status things that I miss that just go over my head in America because I wasn't born here, and I just don't know. But I would love for more Black women to say, you know what? I'm wearing my hair like this. And not just the 3B, 3C girls, okay? The girls with super coily hair, the girls with super kinky hair. Nobody's saying you can't wear a protective style, but if 9 months out of the year you're not wearing your hair, you have to ask yourself why. Why is that? How did you become conditioned to this? Right? And then half the natural hair girlies, probably more than the half. It's always a silk press. Then it's a perm. Then I'm cutting my hair. And I love short hair, all the things. But I'm really challenging you to ask yourself why. And to look around at the women that you see and who's actually wearing their natural hair. And then how else are they living their life? Is it really the way they want it to be? Girl, I don't know. I just wanted to co-sign what this other YouTuber said about y'all don't like black hair. You really don't. Not with the way so many Black people were online talking about Blue Ivy's hair. Y'all don't like black hair. Admit it so that we can move on to healing and fixing the problems.